Hello, everybody. Happy day after Thanksgiving. I hope you had an awesome turkey day if you celebrate that. I know here in America, where I live, we celebrate that. I know Canadians already had their Thanksgiving a long time ago. And Europe doesn't have it. They don't have it. You should have something equivalent, though, Europe. Get on that. Hello, everybody. It's very nice to see you. Thank you for stopping by. Appreciate you being here for our off day Spyt-Takes. We've actually had to do two on a Friday now, one to technical difficulties, but yesterday was Turkey Day, so I needed it off. And it's a good thing, too. It's a good thing. You guys like my my new little logo here? It says a little Spittle Viking. You like that? Isn't that nice? And look, I got a new logo over here, too. Woo! A new one. Yeah, working on some production stuff here for Spyt-Takes. So let's actually get into this right now. We'll get your chat up here. As you can see, I got a new little fancy layout going on. I'm experimenting here on the show, trying to make it better visual quality for you guys, but also have a little more dynamic aspects to it as we go through here. Last week I did do a few video clips, but we won't be doing that again. We'll be sticking to still shots from here on out, but that should be sufficient for what we need to do with it. We're going to be covering 3 shows tonight. In the first segment, we'll cover last Friday's episode of Constantine. And then we will cover Gotham, which was on Monday. And then we'll cover Flash. No Arrow this week, unless I'm crazy. Correct me if I'm wrong, people, but I don't think there was an Arrow this week. So we're just going to be covering 3 shows, although there is a really cool Arrow next week that has a crossover with Flash. In fact, I believe is a Flash Arrow 2-night episode. So let's get started here. Our first thing we're going to cover is Constantine. Okay, so Constantine was on last Friday, and I have to say this episode didn't live up to the last episode that we had. Now, that's not to say it wasn't a good episode. It's just I don't know. I thought last week's episode was the week prior to last was a little better. So in this episode, by the way, it's spoiler alerts here on Spyt-Takes. Don't expect it to come in here and not have something spoiled for you if you're not up on it. So get up on it. So Constantine was basically going down to this area where there was a murder. There was a supernatural murder. It starts off with some kind of ghost or something. Excuse me. I don't know why I got so tired all of a sudden. It's so rude. There we go. And so he starts out, we witness this murder as this lady in a surgical mask, like, just kills somebody, and then this cop, like, shoots at her, and it sort of bounces right off. And then there's another murder that happens with some ghost that causes a guy to have a car accident. Some creepy child molester guy, by the way, so I don't feel too bad that he got taken out. And then there's a third ghost that shows up, but that doesn't happen until later, and it kind of changes the modus operandum of the ghosts. So anyway, what we know is these ghosts are being risen. And Constantine tracks down and finds out that it was Papa Midnight. Papa Midnight is doing something to have people sort of commune with the dead, and he's accidentally raising them back up again. So Constantine tries to help him, but Papa Midnight sort of screws him over. And the good thing is that Constantine actually kind of gets out of it, and he finds out he's screwing him over when he's raising the third ghost. And the third ghost is some guy who's died of cancer, and his wife was not there when he died, so she goes to sort of just speak to him, and inadvertently he gets resurrected. Now, what we learn is that these ghosts inflict their sort of death experience on an unwitting victim. Well, that's really kind of true of the first 2 ghosts, right? So what we learned is the first ghost was this model who was slashed by a vengeful and jealous model who wasn't as good as her, slashed her all up in the mouth. That's why she was wearing the surgical mask. And then she ends up dying. The woman who assaults this woman just goes to a mental institution and is out, like working at some pet store now, which was kind of weird. And then we learn that the second ghost is some hitchhiker kid who got killed in a car accident while hitchhiking. So both the lady, the slasher, the model lady, and the hitchhiker kind of pick up, where where they left off. But the third one is like this dude who died of cancer. So he goes back to his wife who's living, and she starts dying of cancer now while the ghost is there. Like he's killing her instead, which didn't make a lot of sense to me because I would have expected the model to go back and actually go after the lady working in the pet store, but she never did. So, oh my God, I don't know what just happened to me. Anyway, I guess I was really bored by this episode of Constantine. As you can tell, I'm sitting here yawning like crazy. So it was, and I did just have leftover turkey dinner. That might have been a mistake. Anyway, so a couple of things happened during this episode. The interesting thing was that there are 3 sidekicks for this episode. And one of them is Chaz, and the other one is Zed. And then there's Constantine. And Papa Midnight, actually, is working on this too. But it's interesting because all 3 of our heroes split up during this episode, and I thought that was really cool. So Chaz was dealing with the slasher lady and ghost model, and a ghost model. Is she a model ghost or a ghost model? I think she's actually a ghost model. No, wait, a model ghost. If she was first a model and then was killed and became a ghost, chronologically she'd be a model ghost. But I think, is it a ghost pirate or a pirate ghost? See, it's confusing. I don't know what to call her. Her vocation was a model, then she was killed and became a ghost. I think she's a model ghost. I think that's what I would give her. So the model ghost, Chaz is dealing with the model ghost, and Zed is dealing with the hitchhiker, with the cop that first saw the model ghost. And it's interesting because I think Zed's story is the best one in here. In fact, I think Zed is the coolest character right now on the show. Let's take a look at her really quick and get some images of her up here. So here's Zed. This is actually, I guess, Zed in the comics. So she actually looks pretty cool, except for the gray hair that's going on with the character. I think they did a good job casting her. Now, this actress does a tremendous job. In fact, I think she has the wow moments on the show this episode. When she has her visions, it really brings the show to another level. She had a vision in the the TARDIS cabin that Constantine has, and she also had a vision down when they got into the elevator in New Orleans. And both, when she does this, she takes you to another place, and you get this really awesome feeling on the show that it is supernatural and just surreal. She goes into these moments of surreal visions, and they're fantastic. She just, to me right now, she makes the show. Constantine is good, the actor's good, but she makes the show right now. And anyway, her visions were really great, and she does a great job with the hitchhiker ghost. Not the ghost hitchhiker. We've established he's a hitchhiker ghost, not a ghost hitchhiker, right? Are we in agreement on this, people? Is it model ghost or ghost model, or is it hitchhiker ghost or ghost hitchhiker? I need you to weigh in here, please. But her visions are awesome, and she really makes the show right now. She's definitely 100% my favorite character on the show. And I think she does a really, really good job and really grounds the show, really grounds Constantine. So, first off, starting off in the... all right, see you, Kazakhs. First off, the freaking cabin is still very cool. I like what they do there. I like that they have that. They spend a lot of time. That set is amazing. The amount of detail and occult stuff that you see on that set is absolutely fantastic. In fact, let's see if we can't take a look at some pictures here. Constantine cabin. I don't know if there's a name for it, but no, I don't see it. Oh, there's a lot of weird stuff going on here. Aliens and all kinds of things like that. Constantine's cabin, maybe? NBC. Let's try putting that on there. Nope, no such luck. I'll have to take some pictures of it from the DVR and get that next time. But the cabin is amazing. There's so much detail in it. It's not even funny. And we start out there and we get to see more stuff. Hey, Teffin, how are you? It's super cool. And Zed has a vision there that leads them down to New Orleans. Holy crap, Zed, what's going on here? Good Lord. My goodness. Yeah, I guess you can do a search for Zed and see some things. So she does a fantastic job. I just really like her. And when she's dealing with the ghost hitchhiker, she's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. The way she solves that. Chaz, on the other hand, gets punked. I mean, he actually gets murdered by the model ghost in an alley. And some EMS guys come along and he's completely cut up and in horrible shape. And they actually try and revive him. And he doesn't need it. He just comes back to life. And that was pretty cool, but it seemed like what they needed to do with that character was show that he can be killed and come back. So he just kept failing versus that model ghost. And it did it, Kazakh. That's good. Yeah, seriously. Anyway, but Constantine now comes across Papa Midnight, and I got to tell you, the Papa Midnight Constantine crossover was ridiculous to me. Like, when they did that, they constructed this spell, and it starts out with Constantine or Papa Midnight saying, "This is a spell of our own making. We join our powers together, and we've invented this spell." And it's Constantine spouting off Latin, and Papa Midnight's shouting off all his voodoo magic and everything like that, and they're sort of mixing it together. And then in the end, Constantine is, crying about "Oboba, Oboba," or whatever it is. And I gotta tell you, it was ridiculous. No wonder it failed. The spell totally fizzles and it doesn't work. And they've got these 3 bodies in sheets that aren't burning, which is really weird because not even the sheets are burning, which is bizarre. Oh, and by the way, Constantine is back in the red tie, completely down practically to his nipples. It's undone. It's I think he has a competition that if he sees anybody with a loose tie, he has to go just a little looser. And so it pretty much just ends up looking like a I don't know, a loop of rope hanging around his neck. But he's back to the red tie. And so that was short-lived with the black one. See, look right here. He's got this. This is him. I look, and here. Let me show you this. See, he's got this black tie, and it's not so far down and ridiculous. The one he wears in the show is down to here or something like that. It's so weird. And I think they could just do fine with something like this, to be honest with you. I don't see why they have to keep going ridiculous with it. It's sort of just distracting, right? I have this weird thing. It was funny. I was having lunch with Greg Miller up in San Francisco, and he asked me how I like Arrow, and I told him I wasn't watching season 2, and I only had watched season 1, and I got kind of sick of it, and was just found how ridiculous it was that they went to the Big Belly Burger all the time. And he was like, really, Jens, that's your issue with the show, Big Belly Burger? So if I were to go on the air and say Jens Anderson, creative director of DCUO, has issues with Arrow, and the number 1 issue he has is Big Belly Burger, he's like, you're going to be comfortable with that? So yeah, I stole his thunder. I just pulled a 8 Mile Eminem by taking away his thunder right there. But so I just get distracted by little things that bother me, and that's one of them on the show. But anyway, it was a really silly kind of spell that they tried to do, and nothing was working. So then they had to go. Constantine figures it out. Oh, I know what it is. It has to do with the ones who were close to, or like the lady who attacked the model, the grandmother of the kid who drove the kid away, and that's why he was hitchhiking, and the wife of the husband. Each of them had to come and sort of let go of their guilt, and that allowed the bodies to burn, which then caused the ghosts to vanish, and their souls apparently went up to heaven. It was very trite. The whole thing was super trite, and it was not nearly the same as the last two episodes, so I didn't quite enjoy it as much. Now, on that note, what did I read today? What is happening? Are you guys even aware that this could potentially be a reality? Constantine canceled already? What's going on with that? Well, let's check it out. So I was just surfing the net. NBC halts production on Constantine. Let's take a closer look at this. What the heck is going on here? So I found this, and I was doing some reading, and I went down. And it's clever writing too. Hey, Johnny Boy Taz. So it appears that the Grim Reaper has made an appearance, and John Constantine will be fighting for the life of the show on TV airwaves. So right before the Thanksgiving holiday, apparently NBC has halted production of Constantine at the 13th episode. So why? So it comes as a mild surprise to viewers as the show had a decent debut. I guess it did have a decent debut. It was okay. My wife didn't like the show initially at all. And she ended up, really kind of saying, I told you so. I told you this was going to happen. There we go. Sorry. 1 second here. So she kind of warned me that this was, she has a knack for calling this stuff, she says. And it's true. She kind of does. So what happens is they get 13 or 7 episodes in, right? Due to an October start, NBC officials had to make a decision whether to renew or end the series only after 4 episodes. So basically what happened was the show started late, and so they always make these decisions about what's going to get renewed and not at the same day, and when it started, it didn't matter. So it didn't get its kind of full, testing of it. Yeah, right, Raw Justice? I mean, I agree. Why would you stop a show like this on the 13th episode? That just seems like horribly bad luck. Like you're asking for something to go bad. Like some kind of mummy's curse kind of thing is going to happen to you because you canceled Constantine on the 13th episode. At least go 12 or 14. Don't go with a number like 13. That's just ridiculous. I don't even understand why you would tempt the supernatural fates like that. So they have to make this decision after the 4th one, and ironically, apparently, all the ratings of the show picked up on the 5th episode, went up like 38% or something like that, and but it doesn't seem to matter. So I guess the fate of the show, in the end, NBC is hedging their bets. They have officially halted production on the show after completion of the 13th episode. However, that doesn't rule out the possibility that the show could be renewed for a second season. NBC doesn't seem to be abandoning the program as series lead Matt Ryan made an appearance on NBC's Thanksgiving Day Parade promoting the show. As showrunner Daniel Cerrone points out, Constantine is not canceled. You watch, We Live, Constantine has higher ratings than Hannibal and Climbing. Sleepy Hollow 4.6, Flash 3.7, Constantine 3.5, Arrow 2.6, Supernatural 2.5, and we have worst time slot. Keep faith. All right, so first of all, I love seeing this. Sleepy Hollow kicks ass. I'm a little disappointed to see Supernatural down there 2.5, but you got to realize it's on its 14th season. That is a powerhouse, epic run for a show. Good job to Supernatural and Eric Kripke and those guys on keeping that thing going. And so what we're going to do, actually, when we run out of this mid-season hiatus thing going on here with these shows, we'll probably switch over to some urban fantasy stuff, cover some Sleepy Hollow and some Supernatural and other kind of cool fantasy shows that are going on right now as well. Although probably should have included Constantine in those, but, it is DC. Anyway, So hopefully this will keep going. Let's see what some of the comments say. I actually really love this show. It's only just started. No, says Jonathan Davis. Yep, they made the decision only 4 episodes in the season, but it's not a done deal. So I think they've really pulled it out. The episode is getting much better. Yeah, start your Save Constantine hashtags. What's up, Pat? And get that thing going. Maybe you will have the power to save Constantine. We will see. It's all up to you, people. It couldn't be done with Firefly, but maybe, just maybe, you guys will have the power to get it done with Constantine. All right, so let's go. Oh, nope, jumped ahead. Let's go to our next show we want to talk about, which is not Arrow. Oh my God, I don't have my Gotham thing up here. What is going on? All right, hold on. I screwed up. I even did a check in the beginning here, and I failed. Give me 1 second. You're going to see my secrets, my secret sauce here on how I do something. Where's my Gotham? There it is. Let's add the Gotham. Boop. 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 All right. Okay, Gotham, you're back in it to win it. You're back in it. Let's get you down where you should be. Right before. There we go. All right, so Gotham. Gotham this week kicked freaking ass. It was so awesome. It was so awesome. Loved Gotham. Yeah, don't worry. We're back on track here, guys. I see your chat catching up. You can see how long it takes for me to see your stuff, at least 15 seconds. But, so, yeah, wow. Gotham was amazing. So the whole thing starts out with kind of, it's called, by the way, check out this site here. Excuse me. All right, check out this site here. It's really cool. It's Fox's site for Gotham. It's a really great site. And you can see all their real shows here. But this is a fantastic site. I really liked it. It's got all kinds of things. Even this thing called the Gotham Chronicle, which actually looks like it's got some neat kind of stories and things in it that might be like kind of like it's trying to be a paper. But here's like Zaz getting Gordon and everything like that, which I think is a great shot. And he's bleeding and everything. It's a good shot, good TV right there. But this is an interesting site. You should check it out sometime. It's just fox.com, Gotham. And I enjoyed looking at it. It gives you nice recaps of the shows and everything like that. So the actual show starts out, the episode starts out with these assassins coming after Lovecraft. And we know Lovecraft from last episode. And he basically was somebody they're trying to catch because they have a witness, to the Wayne murder. And which is Selena Kyle, who's staying at Wayne Mansion. And so, Alfred's had misgivings about this, but what ends up happening, Harvey Dent pulls a total putz maneuver, and he spills the beans to people, deep level cover, trying to find some information out and shake some people out of the trees that Selena Kyle is staying at Wayne Manor. And this was tragically stupid, because, it led these assassins right to Wayne Manor. So assassin kills a gardener, some kind of grounds worker or something like that. And it's really brutal because she kills this guy and she says, cut him open. And you're like, oh my God, cut him open. Jeez, that is crazy. And so to cut him open, you're like, what are they doing to this guy? What's she going to do? And then she smears blood on her face. And you think, oh my God, she's putting war paint on or something. Then she rings the door and Alfred answers and she's feigning that she's been in a car accident and she wants to use the phone. So of course, Alfred being cool brings her in. And then Selena and Bruce come down, and as soon as this lady sees Selena, and it's weird because you think she'd be after Bruce. That's my Bunsen mug, by the way. See, it has B on it. You think she was going after Bruce, but she's not. She's going after Selena. And so she goes to try and take out Alfred, and he doesn't go down as easy as the gardener did. In fact, her accomplice comes in. Alfred takes them both out. She ends up running upstairs, but Alfred gets a gun away from them and everything like that. I mean, he was absolutely badass. So Bruce and Selena start running away. Alfred pursues, and he's laying down fire, and he's shooting. He's got some good moves. I mean, Alfred is nuts in this. And he ends up like chasing them off. He gets shot even too. And Gordon comes up. Alfred and him, kind of have it out. And of course, Alfred doesn't want to, leave anything to chance. He starts working with Bullock, and you can see them right here interrogating somebody because they're looking for Selena Kyle. And it's like good cop, bad cop, where Bullock is really being a dick, trying to shake him down. Alfred's just putting down $100 bills. Here, every answer you give me that I want, I'm going to give you another $100 bill. It works. It's amazing how quickly it works on this guy. So they get a kind of a lead on Selena. Meanwhile, Bruce and Selena have gone into Gotham City, and they're kind of on the run. And Bruce gets his little emo street urchin on by buying some clothes. And then in a very weird scene, they meet Ivy. And Selena is kind of put off and a little scared by Ivy. And she doesn't want to be around her very long. And Ivy, as you know, is like the first episode, I think, when the Wayne murder, I don't know if it was the first episode, but basically Gordon and Bullock like kill Ivy's dad, which was, now it's all coming full circle. And so Alfred is looking for Bruce still with Bullock, and Butch, Fish Mooney's sidekick guy, like tries to intimidate Alfred, and Alfred just kind of fucks him up, just puts him right down in his place. And this guy does such an amazing job. Puts him right down in his place. And, of course, Fish now will talk to him. And he really puts the charm on Fish about honor and decency and doing this. And, of course, Fish says, "You'll remember this kindness," as she walks off and gets some information for Alfred so he can try and track down Bruce. So really well done there. This actor's super dynamic, doing a lot of stuff. Selena and Bruce get captured because now the word's out in the street that she's the Wayne witness. And so they get captured when she's trying to pawn a bunch of Bruce's mementos and stuff, his rich kid stuff and his dad's watch and stuff like that, to a fence that she knows. And of course they try and escape. And they make it look like escape, and then you think Selena's gonna leave Bruce a couple times, and this is one of them, and she doesn't. She hangs in there and helps him out. There's Ivy. She's creepy. She's a little creepy. Anyway, Selena and Bruce end up having a little run-in with these assassins. They finally catch up with them, and Bullock and Alfred show up at this warehouse, and Alfred doesn't even wait. He just charges right in with a gun, leaves Bullock behind. And it was an awesome line, too, because Bullock's like, "Am I the only one that waits for backup in this town?" Meanwhile, in the episode we saw of the goat, Spirit of the Goat, in the flashback with Bullock, he just charged in without waiting. His older senior partner, wanted to wait for the backup, so total role reversal kind of nod right there. Anyway, Alfred goes in. Bruce, Selena, Alfred, all in the warehouse with the assassins. Bruce does a great job fending off the assassins. He's like throwing bricks and pipes and all kinds of things at him, giving Selena time to get away. But Alfred comes in just in time, just when you think this assassin is going to kill Bruce. No, Bruce actually gets away, or she runs away because Selena is not there. But he does stick up for Selena and says, even though she's right around the corner, says he's not there. She's not there. And then Bruce and Alfred reunite, and they share a hug, and it was a really nice, touching moment because they were definitely like Butler and, well, I'll just call him Master Bruce because that's what he calls him. So, and then they had a breakdown moment. It was very father and son at that moment when they were relieved to see each other so much. And then Mayor James reprimands Gordon and Harvey Dent at the end of all this. And, of course, Gordon doesn't sacrifice his principles. Harvey Dent caves again. Harvey Dent is coming off as a real pussy in this so far, to be honest with you, like a total pussy. And he screws up on the name of Selena Kyle, and then he doesn't stick up for Gordon and just caves to the mayor. And guess what? At the end of the episode, Gordon is demoted and sent to Arkham. So he's in the Arkham detail. And so it's interesting to see because all the headway and the clout the headway you thought he was going to make in the precinct just comes to a halt because all those cops are going to go back to their old ways. Maybe Bullock. It would be interesting to see because this was the mid-season finale. Interesting to see if Bullock carries the torch that Gordon kind of lit in the precinct. I have a feeling he will. I have a feeling that he's going to start moving back toward the middle here, or if not already on the middle, maybe leaning back toward, being a decent cop again and not being corrupt and falling into this is how the system works in Gotham. And so, but Gordon, meanwhile, is going to the newly opened Arkham Asylum for the criminally insane. That's kind of cool because it's really, I wonder how many seeds they're going to plant with various villains and things that have been sent there over time, or what kind of neat connection they're going to put with Gordon so that he has that connection, that connection with the insane criminals that are actually part of Gotham in a very, very important part of his destiny, really, to become commissioner of this incredibly corrupt town. So, good episode, fantastic episode. Definitely the amazing hero and awesome dude of the show is Alfred. 100% Alfred. In fact, let's go check out this actor really quick right here. This guy is the bomb. Look at this dude. He does such a good job in this role. It's not even funny. I mean, I'm so impressed by him. He does amazing stuff. In this episode, he just went off the hook, man. And you can see, bloody rude. Oh my God. Nice. That's the best meme ever. We might just leave that up there. So he's the man of the show. He's the man of the show from last week's episode. So we did a Spyt-Takes. If you want to be a part of the show and have your stuff read, or you're a part of it here live. Obviously, I appreciate you guys being here live. But if you'd like to be a part of the show in a deeper way and have your stuff read here, can you guys see that? Is that resolution okay for you? Couple of questions got asked. Always do hashtag Spyt-Takes. You can leave me feedback about the show. Hashtag Spyt-Takes. You can see it right here. If you do another hashtag like Gotham, I'll pick out a Spyt-Takes and a number Gotham when we're talking about Gotham, and I will read out your comments if I find them interesting and appropriate for the show. Also, if you have or Spyt-Takes hashtag arrows, hashtag Spyt-Takes, hashtag Flash, whatever it is we're talking about on the show. And please just go ahead and hit my Twitter up with the hashtag Spyt-Takes, and I will check those before the show, and we will go ahead and ask them. So Veritas says, great segment this week. Really enjoyed it. Thanks for the mention of my forum post. Rock it out. Thank you for taking the time to writing that. It was fun going over it. If you have your thoughts on this too, you can leave some stuff. I guess right now Joker's Funhouse would be the place to do it, but coming soon, Spittle.com. And we will have a place for you to interact there. And there's also obviously my YouTube channel. When this stuff goes up, you can comment on things. Want a chance to weigh in on the next episode of Spyt-Takes? Oh, that's mine. He asked me, Veritas again, do you think the writing and acting deliver Alfred as both regal and lethal? I think after our discussion tonight, you know my answer to that, and it is yes. I think that Alfred has been very dynamic this whole show so far. He's definitely shown that he can be a proper butler and definitely knows his role in that regard toward Bruce and the household, carrying on his legacy there for the Waynes, the slain Waynes. But we show that he knows how to fight. We know this from when he first had that episode with Bruce and the bully, and he helped Bruce take care of the bully. That was an awesome moment. And then this time around, we just see him throw down. There were other people getting knocked around left and right, but not Alfred. He knows how to fight. He knows how to shoot. He knows how to defend himself. He's street smart. He's a negotiator and a guy who can kick some ass. So we saw so many levels of him tonight. The way he got across to Fish Mooney, the way he got across that prisoner, the way he fought when it all came down, unbelievable. I loved it. So Veritas also asks, a lot of Veritas here with his Spyt-Takes Gotham. This is all it takes. Just do these 2 hashtags right here. Bruce makes this show for me. Every week they deliver moments where some trait or action reveal the Batman within him. Now, Veritas, I'm very surprised to hear you say, and maybe you were being a little casual with those words, that Bruce makes this show for you. I would not go that far at all. The people who make this show for me are Penguin, Gordon, Bullock, and Edward Nygma. Those are my tops, and I do like. I think Fish Mooney does a good job, but I also like Maroni and Falcone. I think they are excellent. Many of the villains who have been guest appearances on here have been fantastic, but by far, I think those 4 characters I listed are the ones that make the show for me. But Bruce is good. I do enjoy the character. Your question, every week they deliver moments where where some trait or action reveal the Batman within him. Yes, I agree with you. I think they do that. Maybe a little too forced sometimes, but they do it. And it's interesting to me that Selina Kyle is taking such a role and around for so much of this as he's going on. One of the ones that I thought was the most interesting, actually, was Selina Kyle has been very flirty with Bruce for the most part. Oh, yeah. Did I mention Gordon, by the way? I mean, sorry. Did I mention Alfred in that? Because Alfred makes the show for me, too. Who did I mention? I mentioned Gordon, Bullock, Penguin, and I thought I mentioned Alfred, right? I hope I did. God, I can't even recall. Basically, I think that they're doing a good job with that. The whole balance thing this last episode was interesting. But then Selina tried to get flirty and kiss him again. And he said, no, I don't think so. And he went in and didn't fall for her charms right away. And it was her in the end that had to, put a little peck or a little smooch on him. And I got to say, I thought that was very, very Batman to keep his distance. Well, who did I list, Johnny? Who did I list? I listed Nygma, Gordon, Bullock, and Penguin. Right, and Alfred. So there's 5. There's 5 that make the show for me. No particular order, but I gotta kind of put Penguin on top. Penguin is the best in this. So yeah, I don't know if I'd say Bruce makes show. And then another from Veritas. Look at all this. Veritas stealing the spotlight here, guys. Go ahead and try and get some competition in here for when this show comes back on after the mid-season finale or its return, which will be in January. So in January, remember, when Gotham comes back out, hashtag Gotham, hashtag Spyt-Takes, either direction, doesn't matter. Bullock is great casting. Every week we see him get more involved, interesting and dynamic. I agree. I like Donald Leno. I think that's his name. Leno. I don't know how to pronounce his name. But I first remember seeing him in the Blade movie where he was like the sidekick to Deacon Frost. We're going to be such naughty vampire gods. That was the best line in the whole movie. He took my hand, man. He was the greatest. And most recently, he was in the show Vikings, and he played King Horik, and he did a great job as that character. So I was really excited to see him cast in this, and I just think watching him, in that one flashback, we got to see him as a non-jaded cop who was still fighting for good and had these ideals. But when the show starts, we see him as somebody who's really just given up and succumbed to it, and Gordon is bringing him back. And Gordon is going to end up saving his soul, so to speak, when it comes to his morals and his ethics, and will probably make it so that Harvey Bullock can sleep at night with a clean conscience, and when his time comes, go go to his grave knowing he was a good cop, not a bad cop. And I think that is one of the coolest transformations we're witnessing on the show right now, and it's all thanks to James Gordon. So, and then here we go. Zenith says, great opening to Gotham last night with Alfred kicking ass. Just a scratch. I've got stuff to do. Yes, very, very good. That was a terrible English accent. It's just a scratch. I've got stuff to do. That was very bad again. Not the Alfred accent. I'll work on that. And then he says, one thing I feared about Number Gotham happening was Kid Batman and child villain hijinks. Could get silly by season 3. Spyt-Takes and Muppet Babies hashtag. Interesting. Anyway, so yeah, I can see what you're talking about. They're all over the place with the age. We've talked about this. We've really talked about this. Wow, that is a wall of text, Raw Justice. Do you think the actors in Gotham has it hard to live up to their characters due to legendary stories of their characters like Batman, Harvey, Penguin, holy smoke, Batgirl, etc.? They have a lot to live up to in the show. Do you think they have it hard to follow up on Batman movies and comics? No, I don't think it's hard. These guys are doing their own thing. It is a fresh start, and they've done good casting. They've really represented it well. You think about the way they did Viper and how it tied into Venom, and the Penguins coming along great. I don't know if we've ever seen... I mean, think about it. All right, so Danny DeVito's Penguin in that origin was rather farcical compared to what they're doing with this Penguin, who's very believable and awesome in his own right. Absolutely love Bullock on the show. So who knows? Oh, see, Duncan, you know what I think? I think when Barbara ran off, I'll guarantee you right now, when she comes back, she's going to be pregnant. Guarantee. She's already pregnant with Batgirl right now. So I can hear what you're saying. I mean, I think it's weird, that Catwoman's so young, Bruce is so young, and Poison Ivy is so young. What other kiddie villains are going to show up while we have other, villains being older already, which is just weird. So we'll see how it goes. I hear you on that one, though, man. I hear you on that one. All right. Let's see here. What do we got going on? Let's go back down to our next topic. So good episode of Gotham. That was the mid-season finale, by the way, so we won't be talking about that one again for a bit until it comes back on the air. So can't wait for that to happen. Really looking forward to it. Arrow. There was no Arrow. My shit is out of order. Boom. Flash. Fastest man alive. And his ratings have got to be moving up faster than the Flash can actually run, because this show is pretty darn awesome. Pretty darn awesome. All right. What happened in this episode? Well, a lot of stuff. They introduced this electric guy, which, by the way, who the heck was that? Is that actually somebody? Because I don't think Cisco named him, and I don't believe that... I couldn't figure out who that was. I didn't really try that much because I was too busy focusing on some other stuff that was going on. Mainly the Clock King. We'll talk about him in a second. So this episode of Flash started out very appropriately for how the show was going to go. So we saw Barry actually getting mugged, but he was enjoying it. And in the sense, really what happened was in the beginning of the show, you could just see how much he's fallen in love with his powers. Before he even says it and confirms it later on in the show, you know that he is actually in love with being the Flash. And that was awesome. And they show it when he's getting mugged and he had fun with it. And then they also show it when he was like literally talking to Harrison and just saying, I love saving people. I love helping people. I don't want to stop doing this right now. And there's not much you're going to be able to do to stop me. And I just thought that was an amazing moment. Oh, sorry here, folks. 1 second. I don't know why that's happening. Yes, that's good. Okay, good. So that was really good. Blackout. That's who it was? Blackout? Let's look up that character. Let's look up the character Blackout and see what. Blackout. Flash. I didn't even know. Look what came up. I don't think you guys are right. If this comes up, that's that's like some silencer. Now I'm going to get flagged by the FBI for searching a silencer of some kind. Oh, it's a flash suppressor. I see what it is. All right, anyway. Blackout. DC. Let's see. This is him? No, really? That's him? Can't be him. Johnny Boy's right. Yeah, Barbara Gordon's the daughter. Blackout, which I thought was Parasite. Power outage? Power outage DC. Is there there's no character named Power Outage either. Anyway, I don't know who that was. Maybe it's all one word. No. I don't know who that was. But it's not important. It's some guy who gets electricity. Anyways, Matt Harrison. Barry is really interested in... Oh, is this him right here? Is this him? Is this the guy? Probably, right? I'm not doing very well with my DC right now on this one. But that's probably him right there. So anyway, he's sort of a means to an end here in the story. The real thing is that this guy steals Barry's powers. He drains electricity and he actually siphons off the Speed Force. So that was really cool. And so Barry loses his power, but he doesn't really lose his power. He just sort of, it's dormant, and they keep trying to get his power back. Meanwhile, Clock King, who, by the way, this guy is an awesome actor. He was actually on Heroes. You can see him here. He takes a iris hijack, and he has these really cool glasses that look great. We don't really know what they do right now. But I can tell you right now, I mean, if we look up, let's take a look at, he's the Clock King, okay? He's the Clock King. And here are some various incarnations of the Clock King that I remember. Here's one with his glasses, which I thought they did a good job representing this time around, with that. You can see he's got his glasses right here. Here's another kooky, I particularly like this version the best. But here's another kooky version. Look at this guy. It's so ridiculous. It's like, look at this dude. Oh my goodness. Who follows this? Look at this guy, Tick and Tock. Who follows a guy like this? This is a much better incarnation. Of course, he doesn't have the actual glasses on that he had on before in the show. Another Clock King. Right here. Here, look at this DC Batman. Yeah, Clock King. Nice. Oh, man. Okay, that's from Static Shock. Okay, that's good to know. So anyway, yeah, this guy, are these his glasses this time? No, that's still not his glasses. William Talkman. This is when he was on Arrow. He didn't have these. He had these special glasses on last night when he showed up on The Flash. So he's done a crossover. He's a crossover villain, which is kind of cool. And he's got this sort of side story going on where he's kidnapped Iris and Detective West. And they're in trouble, and Barry needs to help them, but Barry doesn't have his powers because they've been sucked away. And they keep trying to give him his powers. And I thought the funniest moment for this is, here's a link. Let me click on this link. All right, so Blackout, Farouk. Oh, so that is him. All right, there he is, right there. There's some pictures. Yep, there he is on the Flash. That's what he looks like, I guess. All right, good to know. Good to know. Thank you for that. So, good catch, Johnny Boy Taz. So, this is going on. He's trying to get into Star Labs. He's trying to get Harrison. Harrison gets so desperate, he lets Girder out. Girder, I think, gets killed. And then Harrison is so evil. Something's changed with the timeline because Barry's lost his powers. So Harrison's doing everything he can. He's even willing to like electrocute Barry to get his powers back. And here's the funny thing. Like, so they're like, look, the treadmill can like, we can supercharge you, basically like getting hit by lightning or something like that. And they're like, well, it could kill him. He's like, it's worth the try. It's better than I have my powers. And so no person would survive this discharge that Barry takes on the treadmill. No person. And the funny thing is, they do this, they zap him, and he holds on for a while, and he's like, ah! And then he like gets blown back. And he's lying there, still alive, still conscious. And they're like, I don't think it worked. And I'm like, dude, it had to have done something because you're not dead. And the fact that you're not dead right now would say that it actually did do something. So he ends up getting his powers back, and he uses them to save Harrison. And who Harrison actually caused the death of Girder, and he ends up taking the body of Blackout, who's now dead, and stealing his blood because he basically says, "Oh, you had the power to steal you have the ability to steal Flash's power. I want to know how that works. I'm very interested in doing that," he says. So I definitely think that this guy is Zoom. He's got to be Zoom. I can only suspect that he is. And all right, so what else happened that was cool on the show? I think Barry really getting his confidence back and fighting him, and then questionable line of the show. It was just a bit of a euphemism, which was Barry is getting drained by Blackout. Blackout eventually passes out. And apparently Barry was in overcharge mode, and he just had so much Speed Force energy in him that Blackout couldn't take it. And Frost's line is, he choked on you. It's just like, they could have thought of a better line for that one. So yeah, he choked on Barry, which is just a little. They could have come up with something a little better than that. I know when we're writing dialogue on DC, we always have to think about the euphemisms that you guys will come up with when we record these lines, and I think that one got by them. So anyway, it was a good episode. I really enjoyed it a lot. Flash got his powers back. We saw Girder come back. There was another introduction of a villain with Clock King. And it was cool too seeing Thawne, Detective Thawne, look sort of like high on the pain meds in the hospital bed, sort of witnessed Barry's power, but they explained it away that he was on these pain meds. So we'll see if anything comes of that as well. Let's see here. I don't think there's anything else to really cover in the episode that happened. I can't think of anything else. If you guys can, let me know. But I don't think there was anything else. But that's basically our coverage tonight. There was no Arrow. Next week we will see another Arrow, and that will be featuring a crossover between him and the Flash, and they actually fight. We'll see what happens with that. Probably making more out of that fight than there is in the show, and through previews and teasers. You know how it is when they do that stuff. So anyway, that was this week's showing. Sorry we didn't do it last night. It was Turkey Day. One thing I did want to kind of talk to you guys about, there is going to be a couple of things I've been working on really hard, is I'm going to be getting a website rolling up called www.spittle.com. I was working on it today. I'll probably work on it tonight a little more. when I get off of the show with you guys. And I'm going to be moving on to a couple sites. Everything is pretty much under the Spittle name now. So I've got a Spittle URL on YouTube. I've got the Spittle on Twitch, on Twitter, and I'm actually going to be moving to Patreon as well. I know a lot of you have said you'd be interested in trying to help support the show. It certainly isn't, cheap buying all the games and stuff like that. So I certainly would appreciate, any support that you guys want to give. But we'll be running all that through Spittle.com and moving out to sites like Patreon and YouTube. And I'm going to have to re-examine and figure out exactly how I'm going to use all these channels. And actually, point in fact, I might have to start streaming this show on YouTube itself. So stay tuned for news like that. Make sure to follow me on Twitter. In fact, we'll go to this camera right here so you guys can see all that stuff. Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, really, they want you to stream games here on Twitch, and obviously I'm not streaming a game when I'm doing this show, so I feel a little icky about doing that on Twitch. And now that YouTube has live streaming, I might move this show to YouTube and keep my game streaming on Twitch. So, we'll update you all with stuff like that once I get Spittle.com up and running. I had some fun and doing that today. You can see I've been working on various icons and logos and things like that, all with the little Spittle splat that you can see right up there. Increasing my Photoshop skills, trying to make this show a little cooler and better for you. I also did some stuff with the layouts today. You can see if you like the kind of perspective angles that I have going on here. I'm kind of interested in playing around a little more with Photoshop and doing some cool little higher end stuff with some of the graphics here. This is the beginnings of it. If you like the direction I'm going in, please let me know on YouTube or on my Twitter. And I always appreciate you guys dropping by. Thank you so much for spending your holiday Friday with me here on Spittle Twitch TV channel on Spyt-Takes. And it's been a fun episode, and I appreciate you guys dropping by. So until next time, take care. I couldn't resist. Here's a sneak peek. My new little logo. with the Viking. And Spittle.com. Not quite there yet on finishing it out, but we'll get there. We'll get there. And it'll have... Oh! I guess I don't have my links set up properly yet. Now let's see if I can preview a different page. Preview a different page. I did all these like icons today too, which was kind of fun. There's one, see? Addresses and things like that. I don't have the links set up in all the previews, I guess, unfortunately. Some things work, some things don't. I'm not really sure why right now, but I'll get that worked out. But yeah, I spent some time doing this little custom jobber here. Anyway, all right. I'm checking back out again. Thank you.